Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at CCC problem senior 2 from 2019's contest, pretty average primes. For various given positive integer n bigger than 3, find two primes a and b such that n is the average of a and b. That is, n should be equals to a plus b divided by 2. In other words, a plus b equals to 2n. Recall a prime number is an integer p bigger than 1 which is only divisible by 1 and p. For example, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 are the first few primes, and 4, 6, 8, 9 are not prime numbers. So for the input, we're gonna have two parts. The first part just states how many lines will be in the second part, and the second part just supports n's. And for the n, what we're gonna deal with it is for every n we're gonna come with a pair of number, and those two numbers are prime numbers, and those prime numbers added together equals to 2n, and that's basically what it is and what it means. So for our program, I plan to create two helper method. One to check if a number is prime or not. The other is to find a pair of primes that added together equals to divided by 2 equals to the average of them, which is n. And let's get into the code, and I think it will be easier to explain with the code. So for any given question, I think it is important to import java.utilities. It includes tools like scanner and other good stuff. So let's create a class called main. In the main class, we firstly need to create a main function or main method. And we need to take in the input for t. Be careful, it's an integer, so we need to parse it to integer from a string. After that, we're gonna use a for loop t times to take in all the input I++, very basic for loop. And for our information or data, we're gonna create an array to store them. Let's call it n's with the size of t. Wait a second. So actually, we don't need this. And before we proceed in the main class, let's create two helper method. So it has to boolean instead of void to return a boolean variable. We're gonna call it is prime and pass in a number. So it's basically what we're gonna do in this function is determine a number if it is a prime number or not. So for 1, it is a special case, and we can directly return false. Wait. And we're gonna use for loop to see if there's any potential divisor, and if there is actually a divisor, it just directly means it is not a prime, because a prime number can only has the number itself as a divisor and 1. So if we loop through all the potential divisors and there's no actual divisors, then we're just gonna return true. It means it is a prime number. And besides its prime function or its prime method, we're gonna have a method called find. Call it called find prime pairs. It's a good name. And we're gonna pass in n and array list. We're gonna store those pairs. We're gonna store those pairs in int array. Let's call it result. So for each n, we're gonna loop through every number from 0 to from 1 to the number from 1 to 2n. Yeah, because none of those number in the pair is negative, so it has to be smaller than 2n. And add plus plus. So every time we're gonna check if I is a prime number or not, and if 2n minus I, which is the second number in the pair, is prime number or not. If it is a prime number, then we're just gonna create an array and store those number and put it in the result. Yeah, because 2n minus 1 equal minus I equals to the other number, and if we added them together, it is equals to 2n, and divided by 2, which is n. It means if it's our standard, and if they are also prime number, it means we can just store them, or it means we just find the right one, the right two. And after we find one pair, we can just break, because that's all we need. And here, we don't need to actually store those input. We can just use them directly. And each input is scattered down next line. Still need to parse them in integer form. And what we're gonna do with them is we're just gonna directly pass into find prime pairs function with the result array list, and that's it. After that, we're just gonna transfer the array list and output the answer. So I don't want to just name it I, but it's much easier than other things. Maybe. For education purpose, I have to name it more complex. Okay, we're just gonna go through the result and output the answer. there's no comma there. Okay, so let's try to run the test case. Okay, that's interesting. Let me find out where I made a mistake first. Okay, I have found it. Very stupid mistake. I confused I with 1. I often make them oops. They are not prime number. That's very interesting. Oh, there we go. So we cannot just put 2n into it. We still need to minus 1 minus I, and then that's our second number in the pair. Okay, finally this time, prime, and it seems like it's working. Okay, let's take our code into the grader. And as you can see, it passes all the test case, and we get a perfect score. So let's do some summarizing to wrap up this video. And one important thing about important takeaway about this video or this question is the ability to determine if a number is a prime or not. And after that, we just need to loop through every number we're gonna deal with and store them in a field and output them as n. I would not say this question is very complex, but there's some trick to solve it. Okay, if you like this video or have learned something from this video, please to check out other video on this channel. Thank you. Bye.